We're doing a post-race recap from Abu Dhabi, and we'll talk a little bit about what happened in the race the weekend before that you scratched from.
Yeah.
So we can start from leading into the first race.
Yeah, so today is November 10th,
Yeah.
and the first race was supposed to be on October 30th, the day before Halloween. So that was a Saturday race in Utah. And actually that Sunday before, I was out for like an easy endurance bike ride. I had done a run workout that morning, and I felt okay. I felt a little off, but that's just typical triathlon. Like I wasn't thinking much of it, but yeah, on that bike ride, I just started like feeling really bad, really tired, and in the back of my head, I was worried about getting sick. So I cut it short by like 2 hours. It's supposed to be 3 hours. I just rode an hour, and then I went home. That next Monday, I'd planned on taking off, and I felt really bad. I felt sick, but I just thought sometimes you can get over that stuff in 24 hours. Maybe not so much anymore for me. I used to be able to, but yeah, I felt pretty sick, and honestly, it wasn't a good feeling because actually, it just reminded me of like the Olympics when I got sick kind of that week before I left, and it kind of made me a little depressed and frustrated because it's kind of happening all over again. But I mean, at that point, there's not much you can do. Just rest, take the proper nutrition. I started taking more zinc and vitamin C. I went to the doctor and got some antibiotics, and I also had a swimmer's ear, so I got some ear medicine. So it was just kind of a bad week. But yeah, it got to, let's see. So I took Monday off. Tuesday, I think I just did like a 20-minute swim. Wednesday, I think I did maybe a 30-minute swim and 30-minute run. And I was supposed to leave Thursday, and I just called my coach, and we just decided it was not smart to go to Utah. It wasn't an important race, and it was supposed to be getting ready for Abu Dhabi. And if I went and raced and beat myself up even more, it's just gonna hurt my chances in Abu Dhabi. So we decided to scratch. And still felt kind of sick just until like Saturday. I felt a little better. Still was just doing easy training, nothing crazy. And I flew out on Sunday to Abu Dhabi, and yeah, that whole week I felt fine. Like I definitely felt a little off and had a little cough, but I'd say overall I was healthy and just excited to race. I was excited I got out there, and I wasn't like super sick with COVID or something because I got all these tests. Didn't test positive for COVID or anything. I was bummed to miss the Utah race, but yeah, Abu Dhabi was the WTS or the WTCS, so that was a main one for this like training I've been doing, and yeah. So my feelings going into the race were medium, like confidence. Like I knew my fitness wasn't super high, but it's been a long season for a lot of people, so it wasn't like. It wasn't like those early season races where you knew everyone was kind of getting ready and gearing up for the Olympics, where everyone was going to be ready. So I thought, it's been a long year for everyone. Everyone's not in like a perfect spot, so I gave myself a medium chance of doing well. In the back of my head, I kind of was like, if I could get top 10, I'd probably be pretty satisfied. So yeah, and then the other thing I talked about this in that fartlek I did, the grass one, that I'm challenging myself to get more experience this year. In the next year, the year's almost over, but in the next year of racing for triathlon. So in the back of my head actually was, I thought I want to be really aggressive on the bike, something that I'm not typically super aggressive on the bike. I mean, I'm actually swimming pretty well, usually top third of the race. I'd say like top 15 is usually about where I get out, so I'm usually close enough to the front that usually it's with the leaders and you're just going, or maybe some guys are chasing and you get on their wheel and ride smart and you can make the lead pack. And then obviously the run is historically like my strength, so I'd like to try to save for the run, and also just it's like triathlon's just something I'm still getting used to. I'm not super comfortable, and like just being able to sit in on the bike, and it's sometimes hard for me, sometimes it's easy, but basically like I just was like, I'm gonna throw that out the window. I really want to just go in, be aggressive on the bike. That's how I'm gonna gain more experience. Like I'm almost like doubling down on each race in terms of the experience gotten. So that was kind of and then I was like, I'm just gonna run as hard as I can. So yeah, that was kind of my race plan, or kind of the race goals, and yeah. So race morning came around. It was super hot there, super hot. Somewhat technical course.
Do you like hot conditions or?
I don't think I do bad in them,
Okay.
but I can't say I love them or anything. And I didn't really prepare for it. I knew it might be kind of warm. I wasn't expecting to be that hot.
How hot was it?
It was 95 or something, or 34 Celsius.
Yeah, that's very warm.
And really it was brutal on our race. And I did so much heat prep going into the Olympics. I was kind of just I didn't want to do it. That's really hard. It takes a lot out of you.
Yeah.
And I think I got it wrong going to the Olympics, and so I was just I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm still getting into shape. If I force the training and I force this, I'll probably end up in a hole. So yeah, it was a decision I made just to not really worry about it too much. I mean, it's also a sprint distance versus the Olympic distance, where I think the heat really plays a role. So yeah, I mean, back to the race. I was I think I was the starting position 22. Started right next to Vince and Louis, who's this really good. I mean, he's a really good triathlete. He got second in the race. He's a world champ twice, but he's honestly probably the best swimmer in the field, best swimmer in the sport. So it was actually a good. It was a really good feat to start on, because he's got such good takeout speed. So I was happy about that. I got on his feet for the first maybe 50 meters. And then this other guy named Tyler Mislachuk came on and kind of pinched me off of his feet, but he's also a pretty good swimmer. And so I was swimming on his feet, and I was pretty happy with that. I thought we were in a really good position, but it was kind of a weird swim. There was lots of little packs that would form, and it seemed like we were swerving. We weren't going in a straight line, but it's so congested, and there's guys all around me, so I couldn't get on the right line myself. So I was kind of just trying to be as smart as I can. I tried rewatching the race. And it's hard to tell. The coverage is kind of bad. The swim's real grainy, so I honestly don't even know exactly what happened. But basically, there were some splits, and in the end, it was actually Vince and this guy Mark DeVay from Hungary got up the water and got a 10-second gap on everyone. And then there was another group of 4 guys. What were their countries? One French guy, Pierre Lacour, 2 guys from Japan. And I don't know where the 4th was from. So the 4th guy, so those 4, and then there's a bigger pack, and I think I got out of the water maybe 16th, so kind of exactly what I was just saying, that 15th range. So actually I was really happy with my swim. I said in a previous video I wasn't super confident with my swimming these days, so I was actually happy with that. It was, I was 20 seconds off of Vince and that other guy, Mark DeVay, but they had broken away, so really just 10 seconds off that lead pack. And then we got to the bike, and that was kind of where I started going crazy a little. At that point it was Vince and DeVay up the way, and then a group of 4, and then a big group of guys, which I was in. And immediately you kind of go through this technical section, and then you go down under this tunnel, and then you go up this big hill. And right at the first hill, I just passed all the guys in that lead pack, went straight to the front, and I was just driving on the front really hard. And I mean, I thought we were closing on the gap, and we were getting pretty close to that group of 4. But then I don't know, I don't. It's hard to remember exactly what happened. But basically, I was just trying to be really aggressive. I should mention it's a 5-lap course, so I was trying to be really aggressive, and I was actually feeling pretty strong, which was good. And I was just pushing. But then after the first lap, we were closing the gap, and we were almost to that group of 4. And I think that group of 4 and Vince and DeVay had combined, so they were a group of 6, and we're getting close. And I was all right, we're almost there. We're in a great spot. But at that point, I was pretty tired. I just hit it really hard. Each lap was 7-8 minutes, so I'm pretty much did 8 minutes really hard. And oddly enough, guys just started attacking, and not attacking, going to the front and making big pulls, but just literally jumping across from the chase pack to the lead group of 6. And that was kind of difficult for me, because I was really, I was actually probably on my limit a little bit too much. and I couldn't respond to these attacks. The only thing I could do was kind of go back to the front and just kind of slowly close the gap, not just do it all at once. But yeah, so like at first it was just the Spanish guy, Surratt. He made the attack, and then a few guys, like slowly some guys just started jumping up, and I just like, it was really dumb. I just kept going. I just kept like staying near the front and not like, I should have just like gone to the back or like in the mid pack, got in the draft, rested, and yeah, I just didn't. It was really stupid, to be honest. But yeah, eventually that lead pack kind of got that critical mass, and they started pulling away from us, and that was kind of that. I was in the chase pack, and the lead pack of, I think it ended up with like 15 guys between the original 6 and then guys jumping across. And yeah, so even then I kept staying on like doing a lot of work in the chase pack, because you know, at that point I didn't know how I was going to run, and I was like, if we could keep it within 30 seconds, maybe I can run up to top 10. Like, I've had some good runs, maybe, like, who knows? You never want to like give up on the race, and like we weren't that far behind them. I think we were like hovering around 30 seconds going into the run. But yeah, we got to the run. I had a really bad transition, and
What made it bad?
I fumbled with my shoes. Also, it was kind of, I don't want to call any athletes out, but basically like going into like we're in this chase pack and the leaders are up the way, you know, and all these guys who I hadn't seen the entire race, like I'm taking pulls with like this Swiss guy, and like maybe 1 or 2 other guys were kind of coming through, but mostly it was me and the Swiss guy in the chase pack taking these pulls, keeping us like relatively close, like 30 seconds, you know. That's far, but I'm not gonna win or podium, but like maybe like you have a really good day on the run, you can kind of run up, and if we all work together, maybe we could close that down to like even like 15, you know, who knows, maybe we could have closed it completely if we worked well together. And yeah, I'll get to that in a sec. But right going to transition, all these guys who I hadn't seen the entire day just went around me and got, just so they could be like 3 seconds ahead of me in transition, or like just get a little bonus, a few seconds. And I'm like we're already out of the race. Like, I wish you guys use this energy to help pull through. But yeah, so like I said, that kind of made for a bad transition. Just and then I just started running, and I felt really bad. Just super tight, and just my legs. That was probably the worst I've ever felt in a triathlon run. I was thinking about it, and like I think I ran like 15:40, and the winner was like 14:40. So I was like a minute off the guy who won. I mean, he was in the lead pack anyways. And like, honestly, I was actually surprised that I was that close to him, how I was feeling. Like, I felt so bad running. I don't know if it was the heat, dehydration, like I was super tight. Maybe I didn't have enough electrolytes and stuff. Yeah, and just like, I think another big part was like I was spending a lot of time on the front in my like time trial bars. And I probably wasn't training enough in that position going into the race. Like, I was doing a lot of the cyclocross stuff, and not as much of the road bike time trial stuff. So I think my lower back was really tight, and just like, honestly, that travel out there is brutal. And I probably didn't do a great job of just like setting myself up well, like doing the mobility and the activation when I got into Abu Dhabi. So yeah, I just felt really bad. I mean, I ran as hard as I could. Kind of battling it out with this other guy from Hungary. I forget his name. Thomas Toth, I think. So we were kind of battling it out for like, I think ended up 24th. So yeah, I mean, it's overall like, it's a bad result. Like, that was my worst WTS finish in a long time. And unlike the Olympics, where I kind of like stopped running hard, I ran hard to the finish line. So I can't really even compare to that. But yeah, I'm not completely upset. Like, never in my career have I like been like pushing the pace like that in a WTS bike. I knew I wasn't super fit. You know, who knows if that sickness affected my race. And the other big positive is that's where the grand final is next year, which is like a big goal of mine to do well there. So I got to go out same time of year, November. I know it's gonna be really hot. I know what the travel's like and all that sort of thing. So it's gonna be I'm hoping like, yeah, like the result is bad and my series ranking is gonna be bad starting next year. And yeah, it's like kind kind of embarrassing. Like not embarrassing, but it's just to run that bad is just not like I think the last few WTS I've done, the last 3 WTS I've done, I've been the second fastest run split in every WTS. So like to I don't even know what like maybe like the 20th fastest. It's just like it's not that encouraging, but yeah, I mean, I hope it really pays dividends. And also, like, I hadn't raced a triathlon since the Olympics, and then the next triathlon I'll race is probably going to be in March, so that would have been a really long time to go. So just to get that one in there, just to kind of keep that mindset of, like, being a triathlete and actually racing is really good, too. So, yeah, there's some positives to take away.
Did you do anything specific to deal with the time difference, like the jet lag? Because it's quite a massive time change.
Yeah. I mean, I'll take the melatonin. Which that's supposed to help with the time zone change. I took a, let's see, like I left Sunday at, I forget when my flight was, like 5 p.m. maybe. Went to Munich, Germany, and then from Munich, Germany to Abu Dhabi. So I just try to sleep as much as I can on those flights, knowing it's not going to be a really good crisp sleep or anything. So I just, when I do get in eventually to Abu Dhabi, I mean, we got in Monday night at like midnight, or like, so that would be Tuesday morning technically. Like, so it's like you're really tired by the time you get there, and then you just go to sleep and sleep as much as you can, take some melatonin, and then you just kind of start the next day and just try to get through it. I think I might have taken a nap that first day, but again, like you limit it, like I'm not gonna take like a 4-hour nap. Like I set an alarm for like 90 minutes because I was getting so tired. But you take a 90-minute nap like in the middle of a training week, so that's not gonna mess up your sleep cycle. But I wouldn't do like a 4-hour nap. So nothing I wouldn't do normally. I would, I'm fine taking a nap, but just not gonna crush my whole sleep cycle. So yeah. Yeah, the other thing that was really kind of hard, like the food situation there wasn't great. It was just like a lot of like, I should have brought more food and stuff. Yeah, it was good to race. I mean, it was really good to race, and it's good to be back on like the circuit. Like, I can't say I'm like, it was that, like I'm just happy with the result. But.
Yeah. So to wrap it up, 2 positives, 2 negatives, maybe not 2 negatives, 2 things that you learned moving forward.
Yeah, so
I guess a positive is that you've done the course.
Yeah.
You're going to need to do.
Yeah, another positive is like I was really nervous going into the race. So I'll say that my first positive is I was really nervous going into the race. Just some of these, like, it's no secret, like biking's like my newest thing. It's like I grew up swimming and running, so like I'm still getting the confidence and learning on the bike, and like there's quite some technical sections, and like I was quite nervous. Not that like I knew how to take the corners, but it's just you don't race for so long and you lose that like that nerve a little bit in a pack, and so I was dealing with the nerves before the race because I was like, oh, I'm gonna like do so bad here, and like I'm gonna suck through the corners and all that stuff, and like I don't think I was like as sharp as I've ever been, but I was like, once the race started I was fine, and so that's just a nice reminder of like I'm actually a lot better than I was a few years ago, and like I don't need to be getting nervous about that stuff anymore. Like, it's not to say I can't try to improve in training, but I don't need to be getting nervous about that. I'm fine. I'm competent. The other positive was, I mean, seeing the course going into next year and just getting out there. I mean, I've made it. I want to do, like, it's the grand final next year, so it's technically the biggest race of the year, and like I think it's really good to have those big race focuses. So that's one positive. And then just to add in the other, just to be on the front of the WTS, even though it's a chase pack, like just to be the guy like pushing the pace and kind of, I just feel like that I learned so much. I mean, I probably, one thing I regret is not like trying to get other guys involved and like almost taking too many pulls, and like maybe like if I rested more, I could have taken, some guys would have come through and then I could have taken a harder pull and we could have closed that gap. So I learned that. 2 negatives is just, I mean, just how I felt on the run. I know I talked about like the mobility and stuff in training, and I just felt like I was like as tight as I've ever been in a running section of the triathlon. So I've kind of taken that to heart. I mean, like ever since I got back, I've been stretching and doing that stuff a bit more serious. And I was kind of like, it was good because I looked in the mirror a little and I was like, yeah, I've been doing this mobility, but maybe I've just been going through the motions a bit and not really doing it to get better. Just kind of like doing it because I think so. It was kind of like a good look in the mirror. And then another negative is just yeah, just the end result. I mean, this race counts towards next year's circuit, if you will, like the WTS, like the series circuit. So yeah, it's just gonna make it that much harder to finish high in the rankings next year, coming off because I didn't race Hamburg in September, and then this race, I mean, a 24th place isn't that many points. So yeah, that's the other negative.
Okay. So we have a gym session here.
Yeah.
That we're going to film with Nell.
Yep.
That's why we're standing next to the gym.
Yeah. So
but before we wrap this video up, what is coming up? You got the US Half Marathon champs.
Yeah, I got the US Half champs. So that's in less than a month now. Yeah. So I'm pretty nervous about that one. Like, I think it's going to be a really good field, but I'm really excited. Like to be honest, like right when I finished the Abu Dhabi race, I was like, I'm gonna suck. I'm not gonna do that race. But I turned that around real quick, and I was like, who cares? Like, I'm gonna have a lot of fun. I love doing running races. I do them for fun, and it's gonna keep me training hard. And so I'm already excited about it. Like, I think I gotta train like well the next month, but I think I could do fine. You know, we'll see how it goes. And it's like, I don't know if I've ever done a U.S. like champ outside of like club cross. So. Okay. It's going to be my first U.S. champs, which will be exciting.
And I think you briefly mentioned, but next tri race?
So the schedule's still kind of coming out, but there's a World Cup in Miyazaki in March, so we'll see. Like, I'm hoping maybe there's like more, maybe there's some like local, like domestic stuff. Sometimes there's some races down in Florida. But yeah, so that's the next one on the calendar, and I'll like I talked about a little. I plan on racing a lot in the next year, and really focus on getting that experience. So I'm gonna do every race I can next year. That's not totally ridiculous. Kind of somewhat makes sense in the schedule.
Yeah, cool. All right, let's go to this gym session.
Yeah, thanks.